Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/best of Redditor updates, and we've got one of those situations today where somebody doesn't know how to behave at somebody else's wedding. This is becoming quite common. I am noticing on the old Reddit. But anyway, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in unpacking with me today, then do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. So today's post was shared by, of course, Direct Caterpillar 77, a very frequent flyer on this subreddit. And the title says, "Am I the butthole for telling my sister not to announce her pregnancy at my wedding because I was going to announce mine, but she did it anyway." Now, without even having to read the post, you shouldn't have to give a reason for why you don't want someone to announce their pregnancy at your wedding. And it should be a given not to do it anyway. Like, what the hell? So this one was obviously not posted by the person who posted this compilation of the updates. The original poster is there on the screen if you are interested in taking a look. And it was originally posted to Am I the Butthole? Of course. Right then, let's get into it, shall we? So this was originally posted March 26th, 2025. I don't know why it says way back, but there we are. I, 29F, got married 3 months ago to my amazing husband, 31M. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, but my sister, 32F, managed to overshadow it in a way that I can't seem to move past. A little background. My husband and I had been trying for a baby for a while, and when we finally got that positive test, we were over the moon. We decided we would share the news with our family and friends at our wedding reception. Nothing crazy, just a small, heartfelt moment during the speeches. Only my parents and my maid of honour knew about this plan. A few weeks before the wedding, my sister pulled me aside to tell me that she was pregnant. I was genuinely happy for her, and we had the sweetest moment together. Then, she casually mentioned that she was planning to announce it at my wedding. I just don't get that. I would never think, when can I announce my big life event? Oh, it's someone else's big life event. Like, it's just a big social faux pas, if you ask me, and something no one should ever even consider asking to do. Because I'm not being funny, some people don't feel comfortable saying no, and they might then say yes to something that actually they're really gonna be upset about, and they're never gonna want to say it. So it's just like, don't even ask. The only time it's acceptable is if the couple who is getting married comes up with the idea themselves. Then, okay, I still think you'd be a bit of a butthole if you said, yeah, let's do it. Personally, I know some people don't care about that, but I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that on your wedding day. That seems just weird to me, you know? Anyway, that's just my opinion on it, really. Everyone, I think, holds their own opinion on that kind of thing. So then they go on to say, I was shocked and told her as kindly as I could that I would prefer she didn't. I even explained why, because I was also pregnant and planning to share the news that day. I asked if she could wait just a little longer so the day could stay focused on the wedding. She seemed a bit annoyed, but didn't argue much, so I thought that was the end of it. What's the betting that this sister has a history of wanting to be the centre of attention all the time? Well, fast forward to the reception, and guess what? Right after the speeches, she stands up, clinks her glass, and announces her pregnancy. The whole room erupts in cheers, and suddenly, my wedding turns into her pregnancy celebration. I was stunned. I didn't even get the chance to share my own news because I felt like I'd just be trying to one-up her. Later, when I confronted her, she acted like I was overreacting and said that she just couldn't keep it in anymore. She could. She literally could. When I told her how hurt I was, she said I was selfish for wanting to control when people share their happiness. My parents think she was out of line, but are telling me to let it go for the sake of family peace. I swear to anything that might be in there in the ether, whatever it is, I swear, if I have to read one more post where the person who is in the wrong or the people defending the person in the wrong say, oh, just let it go to keep the peace, I'm going to lose my friggin' mind. I just don't get how people don't understand that saying to someone, oh, just forget it to keep the peace, is basically saying, I know that you're right and I know that they were in the wrong, but I think your feelings are invalid, so go away, please. Like, what? Anyway, but I can't seem to move on. Every time I think about my wedding, I feel this bitter pit in my stomach because she took away a moment that was special for me. She, on the other hand, thinks I'm being dramatic and says I should be happy for her instead of making everything about myself. It was your wedding! Who is it supposed to be about? So, am I the butthole for not letting this go? No, I would take this resentment to the grave. I would hold a grudge forever because not only are you announcing something at a day that is not about you, dear sister of this person, you are also made aware that they wanted to announce their own at their wedding that they fucking paid for, and then you still thought, no, how can I make this about me? Get all the way fudged, all the way. Relevant comments. OK Homework 8692 says, not the butthole. I wouldn't move on. Every time she says you're making it about yourself, tell her since it was your wedding, it should have been about you. She's the dramatic one that had to draw the attention to herself. If your mother tells you to let it go for the sake of the family, I'd tell her, since that was not your sister's priority, why should it be yours? Frankly, I'd just cut her off. Who needs someone like that in your life? Literally, I'd just be like, see you later, mate. I do not ever want to speak to you again. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like this commenter pointed out, she's saying, oh, she thinks that OP's being dramatic because she's not happy for her. I'm sorry, how dramatic is it to say you couldn't possibly keep it in for a couple of days? Like, that's dramatic, my dear. That is dramatic. And then the OP replied to that, I want to cut her off, but that means going low contact with my family. I mean, whatever. In my opinion, they don't respect your feelings. They invalidated your feelings. Would I care about going no contact or low contact with people like that? No, I wouldn't. Not really. I hold a grudge very well, though, so I'm rather biased. Update May 9th, 2025. Hi again, Reddit. First of all, thank you for the overwhelming support and validation. It really helped me feel a lot less crazy. So, a few people asked for an update and, well, things got petty. I'll admit it. I'm not proud of it at all, but I'm also not sorry. After the wedding drama, my relationship with my sister was icy at best. She kept acting like I was just being hormonal and selfish, and every time we spoke, she somehow turned herself into the victim. What a shocker. Oh, any of us surprised? I finally decided if she thought I was selfish and dramatic, I might as well lean into it just a little. Love it, love it. Continue, tell me more. A month later, my husband and I had a gender reveal party. Low-key, just family and a few close friends. We did not invite my sister. She found out through our cousin's Instagram post and texted me something snarky like, wow, guess I'm not family now. I replied, well, I didn't want to risk you announcing something again and stealing the spotlight. Fair, right? Love it. But the real revenge came at our baby shower. I had custom cookies made that said, we waited our turn. One of the decorations was a sign that said, one special day deserves its own celebration. A few people laughed, a few looked uncomfortable, but I saw my sister read the cookie and go very quiet. She asked if the cookie was about her. I told her, if the shoe fits, and walked away. Now she's telling the family that I'm the one being dramatic and petty. Ironic, no? But honestly, I don't care. I didn't ruin her wedding. She ruined mine. She can sit with that for a while. I love OP's villain arc. I am here for it. Also, my baby is due a week before hers. Guess who's going to be very publicly posting baby pics right as she's going into labour? Not saying I'll be timing it, but I'm not saying that either. That's great. Thanks again, Reddit. Sometimes petty justice is the only justice. I fully agree. So then let's read some comments, shall we, from the Best of Redditor Updates post. Super Nerd Ace says, seriously, don't announce anything at someone else's wedding. I don't care how big it is. That day is about the people getting married, and you should wait until at least the next day. I mean, yeah, and personally, for me, if I had a big announcement to make and someone close to me was getting married, I think I'd probably wait for, a week after. If it was something that I really could not wait to tell people, because I just think it's one of those things, it's just polite. You're allowing someone to, have their moment and live in their moment for a little bit. And unless it's something that desperately needs to be shared, I just think it can wait. Now, if it was someone that I wasn't that close to, I'd still give them a couple days. Just a grace period, If it was someone I didn't like, I'd be like, I do not care, I'm not waiting. But then I wouldn't be at their wedding either. And even if I didn't like them and I was at the wedding, I wouldn't announce it there because I'd be like, then I look like a butthole. And I just wouldn't want to do it for the fact that I would look bad. So then Labrador Deceiver says, even in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Brad and Janet waited until the bride and groom had left, the guests were gone, and they were alone before he proposed. And the ring was nicer than Betty Monroe had. I've seen this film once and I was very drunk, so I don't remember the reference. I've seen it, can't recall it. And then Trouble Walking says, good gravy, I was just thinking about that scene a couple days ago because the song popped into my head. It's like a radio in there, no telling what comes up for no reason. Seriously though, that is a problem. And I thought the exact thing. They waited till after the wedding when everyone had gone. So long ago and people still thought OP's sister was bad, bad, bad. Yeah, literally, OP's sister is just one of them people who is insufferably vain, I feel, and wants everything to be about themselves. But back on the subject of songs just popping in your head randomly for absolutely no reason, I had a dream the other day, right? Basically, I was buried and I was in my grave, but my grave wasn't very deep and I wasn't actually like brown bread. I was just having a good old time in there, sleeping in there. The guy, like the funeral director, now and then would bring me and the other people that were chilling in their graves, like snacks and stuff. And there is a point to this, by the way, I'm getting there. So because I'd had this dream, when I woke up, I was like, that was so weird. And then I was thinking about like funeral homes and the things that go on in there. My brain goes off on these tangents. Something only has to trigger it like a tiny bit and I go off on these little rabbit holes inside my mind. And now I was thinking of like cremations and stuff. And because the thought about like cremations and stuff popped into my head, the next thing to stick in my head for like the whole day was Usher's Let It Burn song. I cannot tell you how infuriating the chorus of that song is when it's on repeat for a full day in your head. But yeah, very strange. That happens to me a lot, and it's highly irritating. So, bit of a shorter one today, by the looks of it, because that is the end of the story, and I didn't save anything else. I'm recording late at night, so whoopsie. But it's good because it means I can edit this one and get it out quickly, and then that means I can hopefully do 7 out this week, like all 7 days of this week. We'll see though, we will see. I ain't promising anything because this is me. The problem is, I'll be like, oh yeah, I've got the time to make sure that I can get a post out every day this week, and then something will come up and completely get in the way of that, which is, very annoying. Anyway, if you made it to the end of this one, I appreciate you very, very much. If you would like to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and it will help me pop up in your recommendeds. Whatever it is you're doing for the rest of the day, I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Goodbye.